Hello and welcome to Final Show Films. I'm John, or Taku, your executive producer here, and I want to thank you all for tuning in. I particularly want to thank our $25 tier supporters on our Patreon, patreon.com/fsfilms. Trevian Alexander, Samantha Bates, Cat Waterflame, and L. Without whom we wouldn't be able to do nearly as much as we do already. So thank you all very much for your support over the years. And if you're watching live on Twitch, please sit back, relax, and enjoy. And we're live! Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Gran Terra Shadowfront. I'm Taku, your game master for the evening. Black Lives Matter and trans rights are human rights. I'm joined this week by William.
Hi, I'm William, and I'm playing Valdes Stonebeard, the Dwarven Samurai.
And Holly.
Hey, I'm Holly, and I am playing Vespia, the Tiefling Channeler.
And Craig.
Howdy, I am playing Grumman Bellmender, the Dwarven Way of the Drunken Master Monk.
And Mara.
Hi, I'm Mara. I'm playing Titania Valkorian, a Ladrin druid of the Circle of Grim Harvest.
And Alana.
Hi, I'm Alana. We are the Capable System, and we are playing Annabella, the Human Ranger. And also, look at my earrings.
What are they?
They're D20s.
They're D20s.
Ah,
Mhm.
Those are great.
Fantastic.
And Jack.
Hey everybody, I'm Jack. I am playing Gentminar, the half-elf spellslinger triggermancer.
And Cody.
I'm Cody. I'm playing Ithram Valar, Hobgoblin War Wizard.
We unfortunately will not be being joined by Nikki or Jeremy tonight. Jeremy might join later, depending, but Nikki definitely is a no. So they will be back hopefully next week, but we pick up where we left off. When last we left off, the group had managed to defeat the Dread Titan Madiri by whittling him down to 0 hit points, realizing he was immortal, going fuck shit, fuck shit, fuck shit, and then Titania trapped him in a jar.
Or a lantern in this case.
basically, yeah.
Like you do.
Uh-huh.
That's where we pick up. So, so everything is quiet. The only sound you all are hearing is the sound of distant waves crashing against a shore out of sight.
I immediately feed a potion to Scuzz, because Scuzz was dying.
The sound of Scuzz chugging down a health potion being shoved into his mouth by Grummond. The wind, the very cold wind, whistling past, and the collective heavy breathing of the Steelhearts, having just finished a series of battles.
Oh. I can't believe that worked.
Can we not do that again before we've got god-killing tools, please?
Just gonna point out, I did say the skeleton probably was gonna attack us. So yeah, let's maybe take a break.
Yes, being caught unawares, though, I feel like we did rather well.
Is everybody all right?
Well, Scuzz isn't dead. I say, looking over at
Everybody's
Scuzz, and
breathing. I
Grummond is
think
putting
everybody's
his.
all right.
Yep.
I think we're all.
Gent's got a little bit of a hitch in his giddy up, but he's
Go ahead and
upright and mobile.
go ahead and roll that health potion for Scuzz.
Sure. And look Vespia over and see how she's looking. How beat up.
She's, she's at half health.
Significantly less beat up than you are.
But yeah, you're probably worse off.
Yeah, hang on. Everyone get close. I'll do a mass cure wounds on I can get up to how many? Six of us.
15. Pretty poor roll, but
15 is not 0.
Get over here.
can I? Yeah, I
Gent's
would-
going to look over a corpse or what's left of the corpse.
There is no corpse. It blew away as so much dust in the wind. There is instead a pile of gear there where he had been standing.
Oh, what do we got?
I'm gonna do it just right now before you touch anything that's possibly cursed.
Oh, he's not touching anything. He's got one of his hand axes out and he's sort of nudging the pile around.
Yeah,
I
before
believe-
you knock something over that is potentially
It's a
cursed or
30-foot
just
radius. If you
explosive.
put it between us, you can reach him anyway.
Yes, yeah, and I'm gonna do this on. I can
Honestly,
get up...
everyone but me.
Okay,
I'm
yep.
down 40 hit points out of my 166.
Perfect.
I'm fine.
So I'll do mass cure wounds 3d8 plus 5.
Jeremy's in the chat saying, "God damn it, Gent, stop touching things."
I'm not
Accurate.
touching it with my hands.
That is
or any
my
part of
job.
My
Well, that
body.
gets 18
You'll
hit
notice how he didn't say not touching it, just with his hands. So in the pile of items that you're looking at as you are being healed reluctantly, you find a
Not
small
reluctant.
a small belt pouch embossed with the symbol of a griffin, a small sphere that seems to be made of interconnected golden pieces, a pair of very fine-looking pants, woven gauntlets that have been woven seemingly of some sort of silvery material that looks like metal but flexes like cloth, a gorget, which is, for those who are not familiar with armor terminology, is a piece of the armor, a piece of a full plate armor that wraps around and protects the neck and up tops of the shoulders.
Your clavicle
depending on
guard, right?
Yeah, it's like it's your
Kinda.
throat, it's your throat guard specifically.
Okay.
It just happens to also protect, the
The section that someone would reach around your neck to try and strangle you.
yeah, well, or slice with a sword, etc.
It's a vampire shield. Got it.
Fine, thanks.
A set of armored greaves, a helmet, the robes that were being worn underneath the gorget and the rest of the armor, a silver gauntlet with a large metal ring of a similar metal that's distinctly different from the rest of the metal on the almost all the rest of the metal.
Wait, so there's two sets of gauntlets
There is a single gauntlet, and then a pair
made of woven silver. Okay.
There are two gloves that look like woven silver gauntlets, and then an actual proper metal gauntlet.
Okay.
Along with a large silver ring and a smaller signet, all three of which, the single gauntlet, the ring, and the large ring and the small signet ring, all seem to be made of the same material. The signet ring does not have like a traditional gem or setting. Instead, the signet is formed by the absence of metal. It is a hollow signet as opposed to a full-on sign.
Okay. Like a recessed kind.
No, it's like completely. You would see flesh if you were.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
There
Hope
is.
you don't like mind hot wax.
There is a sword hilt that seems to have no blade. Off of which fell a large. Actually, no. It wasn't even there. Within the robes, there's a large red gem. There is a staff that is ornately carved with red and gold accents, and what seems like a dragon's head on one end of it. And there is Or sorry, not a dragon's head. It's a like a torch bit, like a torch sconce almost. And there is a book that has golden gilded pages and the embossed and an embossed face on it.
Walk up after Titania's viewless.
Gent is just kind of edging things around, not touching them with his hands, and just keeping an eye on where everybody else in the group is as well.
You are all keenly aware at this point, as your breath is beginning to slow, of the extremely cold wind whipping past you.
And goes in his bag of holding and starts pulling out his winter clothes that he'd packed when we were in Taram, I think. Yep. No, sorry, Core.
Anyone who'd like to can make a nature check, by the way.
Yes, I will.
I will do that.
19.
17.
Oh,
Damn it.
oops.
11.
There.
17.
And can I try to get a fire going?
Yeah, that'll be a survival check, unless you have something specific you want to use to set it.
I don't think I do. I think I still have winter on my suspenders, so
Yeah.
I'm
So
okay. in
you're
the cold,
you're
but-
fine, but so everyone that rolled a 10 or more, everyone can tell it's cold. That's fairly easy. In fact, it is freezing cold. You can all tell that. Those of you that rolled a 10 or higher, you're definitely in sort of the northern section of Leftheria, which is roughly where you estimated this place to have been, based on the temperature, time of day. And it is almost like from where you're at, from what you can tell, it's almost sundown. Which means that what feels right now to be roughly -13 Fahrenheit is going to get a lot colder a lot quicker in an hour or so.
Are there any
Which
glaciers?
means we need to find shelter immediately.
Ithram, how are we set for shelter?
Drummond,
One moment.
very very easily you can set a fire. You can set a small campfire.
Okay. I'll wait to hear what Ithram has to say.
How long has it been since we left? It's the same day.
It's
Still, since we
the end of
left
the day. Yeah,
The moot.
it's the end of the day, so it hasn't quite been 24 hours yet.
Okay. I could cast it. I could get a shelter. One moment.
I've got my tuber if you don't want to tax yourself by casting the spell.
I have something.
By all means,
And-
if you have.
I was gonna say, yeah, Gent towards Vespia and just kind of gives her a thumbs up.
I'm trying
It
to
would be the last
find.
expenditure of the energy I have left. And I'll just hold out my regular sack and start mage handing this kestrel stuff into it.
Okay, John, you gave me a thing that
Yeah.
turns into a house, and I can't. Oh, I found it. Okay,
Found it? Okay.
the cottage chest. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I just need to find details about it. Hold on.
Hang on.
Cottage chest, fantastic.
Yes. Let
Use
me grab the item because I did not upload it. It's one of the ones that I haven't uploaded yet into
Roll 20.
Roll20. D20.
Mm,
And
There. Yes. Oh, so hang on one second before you, while you're gathering things, a thing's about to happen to you, Ithram.
mage hand.
Yes, with Mage Hand.
Awesome. There is one way to learn, and that is by touching.
That works.
I feel like we're not 4, so I think we're
How else will you know if fire is hot?
Sometimes people tell you not to touch it.
Hang on.
All I'm saying is y'all didn't see me over there touching it.
It is somewhere over here. I just have to find it. Why can I never find the things
I found it. It's in one of the things you sent to me over Slack.
Yeah.
I'm currently reading through it.
Pulling it. I'm no longer looking for the item in my computer, and I'm just pulling it up on the ledger.
Since
All right,
Ithram's got the items.
Vespia pulls out a 1-foot long chest that looks like a cottage, like the platonic ideal of a Highlands cottage, but it's like a foot long and it's very clearly a chest. You put it on the ground.
Yes.
I'm assuming you activate it. All right.
Yes.
She speaks a command word, and you watch as the little green door. It's sort of like a plaster-looking side with a blue roof, a small chimney that has some smoke coming out of it. As she says the word, this green wooden door kicks open, and the chest immediately enlarges, rapidly, growing itself up to the size of a proper cottage. It is a 2-story building. It's 40 feet wide, 65 feet long, and standing before you. It sort of like crushed a little bit of the ruins as it expanded. Just bits of wall fell over.
So we're effectively like a whole group of snails. Lots of people with houses that you can carry with you.
Apparently.
This should work for this evening.
It's rather charming. Where'd you pick that up?
Oh, one of the other worlds I've been on before.
So, I love you all. Can we go in now?
Yes, it is quite cold out here.
Go ahead. After you.
Please God said something was about
I'm
to
going
happen to
in.
me.
So as you all are sort of looking at that, Ithram, your mage hand touches the spellblade.
Yes.
And as it does, you look up and you realize you're not on the plateau. You're standing in a wide open field. Dark brown grass. Old weapons from some forgotten war stabbed into the ground at various places where they fell. That blade is in your hand rather than in your mage hand. Unlit. And there's a figure just very slowly, patiently walking towards you with a long spear in one hand, the handle of which is wrapped in bandages long since used, stained with old blood. The figure stands at a distance, looks to stand at roughly 6 foot or so, but as they get closer, you see that they're seem much taller than that. They stop a distance away from you, and you recognize the classical interpretation of Koltir. This mottled green and black skin, dreadlock hair hanging down about their shoulders. You would say orc, but does not have the jawline of an orc, or the tusks. Almost like a hobgoblin as you're looking at him, but again, not quite right. He looks over at you, looks down at the sword held in your hand, and you vaguely remember a vision you had what seems like years ago now.
Yeah.
So you found it.
Yes. Almost died, but this is your domain.
This is the domain of those whose life belongs to conflict. The blade you have there belongs on a battlefield, not in a prison. The man that held it before you was a friend. Honor his legacy.
The story will be known.
He continues to walk that same patient walk. It's the walk of someone who is never in a rush to be anywhere. Never really, but has places that he needs to be. And as he gets to you, you realize he's definitely somewhere in the wheelhouse of 8 feet tall, at least at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And reaches out with his free hand and claps you on the shoulder. You have a hell of a fight ahead of you. Don't rush into it blind, if you want your allies to come out of it alive again. War is not bloodlust. It is a purpose. Think and observe. And as he lifts his hand off your shoulder, you feel stronger, sturdier than you had been before. As you are given the blessing of Kultir, which increases your Constitution score by 2, and permanently increases your maximum Constitution to 22.
Oh, damn! Damn.
And as he
Hell
walks
yeah.
past you, you're back on that plateau. And there's a burn on your shoulder underneath the armor.
So Gent's probably the closest, so he'd probably see Ithram grimace a bit and then just kind of 1,000-yard stare for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Is the hilt in his hand now and not in the...
Yeah, it's in your hand.
Okay.
For the rest of
So-
you didn't really... no time seems to have passed. You were looking over at the cottage. Ithram's shoveling things into a bag, and then he sort of like stopped for a second and then grunted.
Yeah, and he's just kind of looking over the hilt.
All right there, brother.
Better. Yes, much better.
The visor comes back down again, and he just kind of looks at you real quick, flips it back up.
The visor, does it have detect magic on it? I forget.
Not yet. I think it still has one more stage to go. Let me take a look.
Yeah, what stage is it at right now?
It's at awakened right now. Yeah, no. Does not. Nope. It just gives me advantage, or unless I take particular actions. And I can see into the ethereal plane all the time, so that's always fun.
So as you pull it down onto your
Mhm.
face and look at him, there is an explosion of light as you get knocked on your ass. And you look and you see a figure standing just on the other side
Mm-hmm.
of Ithram that looks back at you and it is very clearly looking at you.
Okay.
And you
Can I ID the figure at all?
make a religion check with disadvantage because your eyes hurt right now.
Sure. That's a 12.
With a 12,
Yep.
looks vaguely goblinoid of some kind.
Okay.
Tall and goblinoid.
Okay. No iconography or anything like that, though.
No, not that you can identify.
Okay. Flips the goggles back up.
Are you okay?
Fine. Did you make a friend?
You notice,
No.
all of you that looking at Gent doesn't notice because he's wearing them. Notice that there's now a series of runes, sort of like decorating the leather band of the visor, just glowing that weren't there previously.
Okay, let's get inside. It's cold.
Yeah, while we're
Can't
walking
take
back,
those goggles off and check the band.
it's, no, not a new friend, just one that's helped guide me throughout my
Oh.
region throughout our life.
Well, he might be a bit closer than previous. And Gent pulls off the goggles and gives Valdeth a nod. And, oh, that's interesting.
So yeah, the because you
Because you witnessed a god with the visors.
yes, because you witnessed a god with the visors, it has now reached its exalted state.
Oh, shit.
Congrats, you looked at something.
The
Sometimes you should stare at the sun, apparently.
the exalted trigger that I had was seize a god.
Okay. Cool.
You just never looked at any of the right times.
Nope, sure didn't.
You do notice, if you put them back on, you do notice that there is a soft glow around Ithram's right collarbone.
Okay.
Well, yeah, his right, your left, when you're looking at him.
I assume when I look at what form is Sin in right now?
Right now, Sin is Morgan,
Morgan?
but you
Morgan?
just see Sin.
Oh no, they see a
No, no,
bright
sorry,
aura
sorry,
around
you
them.
see
I was
a-
gonna
yeah, you
say,
see a
but
bright aura.
I see a bright aura around
Yeah.
Sin.
You can automatically detect delusions. You can see and automatically succeed on saving throws against them.
And you
And
get
also
the
see a
you
bright
get the
aura
sense
when you
that that bright aura that you're seeing now is what you saw when you put it on earlier.
Okay. Well, congratulations are in order, I suppose.
All of us.
Enough
Let's,
inside this cottage.
yeah.
Oh yeah, no, but yes,
Get
going
inside and
inside,
get
going
this,
inside.
yeah.
All right.
Walk and talk.
Inside the cottage is a kitchen, a dining room, and a large parlor with an ever-burning fire in its hearth. A curling stairway leads to the second floor, which has 4 bedrooms equipped with furniture you'd find at a modest to respectable inn. The first floor has 6 windows, and each bedroom on the second floor has 1.
Espia, your chest is magnificent. It's even bigger than I thought it would be. Just immediately.
The number of times I've heard that.
Oh, I can imagine. Look at the size of it. And he's just immediately off to the kitchen.
Oh, don't tell him. No one tell him.
As you get to the kitchen, there is actually an array of baked goods sitting freshly cooked, freshly baked on the counter.
Valdeth like checks the bra holding for a second and is like,
One is Grummond is eating one already. What does it taste like?
It's this Holly, what sort of baked goods are in your cottage?
Probably a lot of like pastries and muffins.
Oh, I was going to say, and why are they all hot cross buns? So what muffin then do you think he picks up first, Holly?
I'll go with blueberry.
All right. Is it good?
It's not only is it good, it's delicious, and it's enough nourishment to sustain you for a whole day.
Very heavy.
It's a good berry. It's a good blueberry muffin.
I forgot the other hilarious thing about our cook. Like, not only am I immune to poison, I also don't need to eat or drink anymore.
It's very nourishing.
Having followed German to the kitchen, I immediately go, so that stole our thunder.
That's what?
That stole our thunder. Seeing all the things that are already baked, we don't need to make food because there's already food.
I know. Oh, it's like being on holiday for real. Oh, you got to have one of these, Annabella. Here.
Sure. We'll also try a blueberry muffin.
It's delicious, and again, is enough nutrition to feed you for the whole day. There are 8. There are 8 bits of food here. Now 2 have been eaten, so there's now 6.
I'm going around the windows. I'm making sure that, like, I'm checking for drafts. how cold is the interior of this going to keep us?
Pleasantly warm. It is a perfectly comfortable temperature. Whatever each of you feels a perfectly comfortable temperature to be.
Perfect. Okay.
Interesting.
So slightly chilled on the outside, but with the pleasant warmth of a forge on the inside then.
To you. Everyone feels a slightly different temperature.
Wow.
Or some of you are vastly different temperature.
Valdeth lives for the interplay of hot and cold.
Yep.
Nice.
So if Titania is making a circuit, Gent is waiting for her after 2 more windows from wherever she's at right now.
Okay.
To Gent.
So whenever she gets there.
Yep. Uh-huh.
And he'll just stop her with a hand on the shoulder.
Uh-huh.
By the way,
and
Titania,
kiss her very hard.
For mechanical purposes, did you take the lantern inside with you? Or did you leave it outside?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like not. She would have. Yeah.
Okay, when you picked up the lantern, it felt heavy.
Okay.
It has the heavy quality now.
Okay.
And everywhere inside this cottage is perfectly warm, except for anywhere within 2 feet of that lantern, where immediately you feel the exact same level of chill as outside.
Okay, I'm probably still holding it, but I think, like, when Gant intercepts her, she's like moving to like put it near the door, probably. Like, okay, let's leave this right inside the threshold.
We should get Morgan to put that in a demiplane as soon as possible.
Yeah, I don't think I should be carrying it around. Probably this needs to go somewhere safe.
Darling,
Morgan.
you are magnificent.
Thanks. I didn't think that I'm surprised it worked.
Morgan or Sin holds up both hands and then sort of like pulls at sleeves to gesture nothing up my sleeves.
Yeah, but Morgan, like Sin, has the demiplane spell. It's just one of their arcanums, which is currently spent.
Yeah. Sin is completely spent of spells.
Yep.
Or maybe at the bottom of the sea or something.
There is a spell that I've read about to hide such items and make it nigh impossible to find.
Oh, apparently they will say that they cannot put it in a demiplane anymore.
Okay, they've passed off demiplane. Okay, yeah.
Gotcha. Well, in that case, sounds like a good spell.
Can you shape stone or anything, something to hide it in around it? Because this will make it nigh impossible, but depending on where
I can shape stone. I think. Not right now, but
yes.
I think I have that spell. I'm guessing.
I don't think any of us are quite ready to do anything else tonight, so we'll get some rest and prepare the spells that you need to properly secrete this item tomorrow.
Yeah, I think provided that we don't have to cook, we can just go ahead and everyone who needs to eat can eat, and we should rest.
There are 9 of us total, correct?
There are none.
Yep.
Okay.
And 8 pieces of baked goods, 2 of which have been eaten.
Yeah.
All right, so one person is gonna need.
I will make something easy to drink, like a soup, with a lot of, he'll make a real buttery chowder for Scuzz, and then make sure Scuzz is comfortable and can get some rest.
Scuzz will eat the buttery chowder.
I think it's at this point because I haven't like stopped doing it yet. I think at this point Titania is going to, having set down the lantern and like, okay, we're okay now. Is going to. Well,
Release
it
the
doesn't
Reaper.
actually happen until I do it. It's going to wild shape into a dog, or like a large wolf kind of thing, because that'll dismiss the Reaper away. Otherwise, it doesn't go away until an hour.
Oh boy.
Yep.
Let me take a look at it real quick.
Yeah, the Reaper manifests for 1 hour until you use this feature again to dismiss the Reaper or to wild shape as normal.
Yeah,
or until you die.
That you can dismiss the Reaper with the ability.
Yes.
Until you use this ability again to dismiss the Reaper.
Oh, okay.
So
I
you just
see.
say that you dismiss the Reaper.
Got it. Okay, I do that then.
I do like that it's like a comfort form though. That's kind of nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, you watch as Titania dismisses the Reaper, and the black shroud that has engulfed her just peels itself away, as the darkness that had engulfed her silvery scythe also pulls off, reforming into the Reaper spirit behind her momentarily before vanishing.
Is Titania in private, or is that
No, I do that while we're standing there.
standing over the pot, started to get the base and the roux going? Carmen is kind of watching. He says, "So, are you up for talking about what happened today, or would you rather get some rest first?"
I'd like some food.
Of course. Well, you're welcome to some of the chowder, or there's all sorts of baked goods.
Okay, I'm ravenous. Sure.
If you'd like to sample the bounty of Vespia's chest, it's right in front of you.
Many have.
He's definitely doing this on purpose at this point.
Valdeth will grab a muffin and try one. Quite good.
Ithram didn't pick it up yet.
With 12 insight.
Ithram's still a little distracted right now because his shoulder kind of hurts.
I just had a god tussle my hair and say, "Good job, champ."
Never had that before.
Vespia is back wrapped around Ithram at this point.
Oh no, Ithram's dad is definitely a hair tussler. It's just that when every time you tussle your hair, you'd sink 3 feet into the ground.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a cinnamon roll. Start unraveling it and eating it.
And it is delicious and nutritious and enough food to last you a day.
Excellent. Yeah. I'll sit down at whatever table there is.
It's effectively, again, it's furnished at the moment kind of like a winter cottage. So there's
I'll sit down at the table in the kitchen.
hearth area, kitchen, everything.
Ents just kind of stand behind and off to the side just a little bit.
Once everybody's situated, Ithram will pick the clearest spot and start laying the individual items out with Mage Hand and start ritually casting Identify.
So
I want to roll need on that spell blade.
How long does it take you to cast Identify as a ritual?
10 minutes.
10 minutes. So it's going to take you
Hour.
10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140 minutes.
Over 2
2
hours to
hours.
identify
20
everything, unless you want to spend your
minutes.
spell slots to do it quicker.
I,
Unless you want to spend your remaining spell slots to do it quicker.
I'll use two. I'll take a minute to swap out one of my spells for Identify so that I can do that. For 2 of them, so it'll be 2 hours exactly.
All right. So which 2 do you instantly identify?
Let's see.
He said the pants look nice. Said they were
Yeah.
nice pants.
It's been a while
Tight
since I've had these
leather.
pants. Robes and pants. Why not?
All right.
That's what got me on board in the first place.
Robes and
Robes
pants.
No.
Then robes and
I'm
pants.
glad I'm
Robes
not
and
the
pants.
only
I'm
one.
not glad I'm not the only one. Cheers.
So you've instantly identified the pants and the robes. Because you've also identified 2 pieces of the Mage King's regalia, you also learn an additional fact.
He hasn't
I'll let
bathed
you-
in a while.
Doesn't need to.
Well,
No,
no, he's been undead.
Yeah.
The
Not a priority.
so you learn, and I'm putting this in your journal as well, but this I'll read out loud. Everything else you can reveal.
Okay.
You learn that the Mage King's regalia is a set of magical items designed for the Mage King to use. The pieces that require attunement can be attuned independently of each other, but if you have all of the pieces of it, you can attune to them together. When attuned in this manner, the regalia only takes 1 attunement slot. The Mage King's regalia consists of the Mage King's Chronal Sphere, the Mage King's Gauntlets, the Mage King's Gorget, the Mage King's Greaves, the Mage King's Helm, the Mage King's Robes, the Mage King's Shield, the Mage King's Signet, and the Mage King's Trousers. While wielded simultaneously with the rest of the regalia, the Mage King's the staff and the tome, you can tell, are not part of that regalia.
Okay.
Well, the armor set attunes as one, but the weapons are separate.
Yes.
Well, the armor set and 1 additional item.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I mean, we're still under the telepathic bond, so as he learns it, you all do too.
All right, I'll put it in everyone's journals. So the trousers, the Mage King's dimensional trousers. This flashy set of pants has 4 pockets that each lead to a special extra dimensional space. Each pocket is 6 inches wide at the mouth and can hold up to 20 pounds of material, not exceeding a volume of 2 cubic feet. The pants also weigh 1 pound, regardless of their contents. Placing an object in one of the pants' pockets follows the normal rules for interacting with objects. Retrieving an item from the pants requires an action as your hand rummages around inside for a few moments before finding the item it's looking for. If the pants are overloaded, pierced, or torn, they rupture and tear, scattering their contents in a 300-foot radius around you. Casting the mending spell of the pants daily for 30 days restores the pants' connection to the extra-dimensional spaces. If 1 or more pockets are turned inside out, their contents spill forth unharmed, but the pocket must be put right before it can be used again. Breathing creatures inside the pocket can survive up to a number of minutes equal to 10 divided by the number of creatures, minimum 1 minute, after which time they begin to suffocate. Placing the pants inside an extra-dimensional space created by a bag of holding, portable hole, or similar item instantly destroys both items and opens the gate to the astral plane. The gate originates where one item was placed inside the other. Any creature within 10 feet of the gate is sucked through to a random location in the astral plane. The gate then closes. The gate is one way and cannot be reopened.
Does that include if the pants are being worn at the time?
Yes.
You can never hide in a portable hole if you are wearing those pants.
Also, while it is implied, it's not explicitly stated. All of the pants connect to the same extra-dimensional space. So if you put something in one pocket, you can pull it back out of a different pocket.
Okay.
You're gonna be able to do some really
find
good
my
street
keys.
magic, man.
Yeah, seriously.
I thought you meant all the types of pants like this connect to the same thing. And you're like,
That's
I
what
don't
I
remember
meant.
eating this type of gum. What?
And
This
then,
is not my brand of
We have to go
cigarettes.
downstairs because the baby is being complicated. We be back. Okay,
All
bye.
right. The Mage King's robe. This robe is lined with comforting wool. As an action while wearing the robe, you can expend any number of hit dice to reach out and touch a willing creature other than yourself, causing it to regain 1d8 plus 2 hit points per die expended. When you do, that creature also gains advantage on the next ability check or attack roll it makes before the start of your next turn. This is the ability that they gave to Titania. Once this property of the cloak has been used on the target, it can't be used on that target again until the next dawn.
That's cool.
Um,
Fuzzy robes.
Quite a hole we've pulled up here.
That's not even all of it yet.
Oh.
And so yeah, then
Give
you
me a
all
couple
also,
hours and I'll get the rest.
all of you also learn the since it's being telepathically transmitted, all of you also except for Sin also learn about the way they attune.
So everybody's just going, ooh, and Sin's just like, what the fuck is going on?
Probably much to Sen's annoyance, Grummond is like narrating as it's coming over. In that very sort of like
So-
holding on the phone. He's like, oh yeah, right. Yeah, so what he's saying now is
So I will put these all for you because you're gonna be the one spending 2 hours identifying them. I'm gonna say no one else can learn what they are until you finish identifying all of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so while Ithram is spending 2 hours straight identifying shit, the rest of you.
Yeah. Mhm.
Has Ithram eaten anything?
Today, yes. In the last half hour, probably not.
Vespia will grab a muffin and place it in his hand. Eat, please.
Alana says we're gonna sit and talk to Titania.
He takes a bite and then sets it back down and continues and flips another page.
Vespia just stands next to him, staring him down. Eat all of it, please.
Yeah, he eats it.
There's enough food for the day.
Thank you.
Welcome.
So Annabella sits down to talk to Titania,
Yep. I'm sitting
presumably
there.
with everyone else also sitting down.
Yeah, well,
Again,
everyone
staying
else is there.
standing, but yeah. Mhm. He's there. He's there for the convo.
So, how are you?
Okay. Pretty good actually. Like that went all right. I've still got a lot of reserves left, so
That was intense. I didn't know you could do that.
yeah. Which parts? The like lantern? I didn't know the lantern thing.
Yeah, the lantern and I don't think I've seen the Reaper before. Maybe I have. Maybe I just don't remember seeing the Reaper. But that was also really, really impressive. You've gotten to be very powerful.
Practice.
Hmm. I would say I envy you, but I spent most of my life, well, preparing to serve you. So I think it's more that I admire you. And I respect your power. That came out wrong.
Likewise, we did that all together.
All I do is shoot things, but thank you for your grace.
You do more than shoot things. Everyone in this group had to work together to do that.
Hmm. I suppose so.
Vespia, the cinnamon roll is amazing.
Thank you.
Delicious.
Kent leans
Yeah, how
over
did
a little
you-
bit towards Annabella. Don't worry. Team, we just shoot things are the coolest ones here.
You know, I think I'll let you have that. Although your gun is quite impressive as well. It wasn't the first time I saw it because I thought you stole it. But knowing what I know now, it's quite a piece of machinery.
It really is. I wouldn't have been able to build something like this myself. Sorry, you thought I stole it from who?
From the general.
Right.
Yeah, that was a thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I almost used my bow to shoot you in the face and take your gun back.
Well, I'm sure he would have been happy to have 2 of them.
He would have been, I don't know. He was dead. So
He was already dead.
he was already dead. He was dead. That's why I thought you stole it.
I officially am glad you didn't.
I am also glad I did.
Grumman, you had something to ask?
You're muted, Greg.
You're muted.
Grumman has sat down nearby and is just eating popcorn. He will say, "Oh, right, chocolate ought to be ready." And we'll go over to the stove where he's got a kettle on, and we'll come over and start pouring everybody some hot chocolate with a little float of cream. And said, that was the first time. I mean, that your whole shadow friend, I'm not sure what we should call them. That's all sorts of new, but this is at least the first time that I've seen you bond in the way that you did. Is it all right for you? Is it a good feeling or anything that's because I'll be honest with you, it's a bit frightening to see. But just because I wasn't expecting it, not that I'm afraid of you or want you to feel odd about it, but just I was a surprise, that's all. So if you feel like talking about it, maybe you could tell us a bit more.
You know, I forget people outside Karam aren't accustomed to seeing things like that. I've never seen her do it. There's some pretty interesting magic that comes out of Karam.
Oh, is that sort of Sunday formal wear sort of thing?
I wouldn't say that, but
the sort of thing. The Tyrian society has a very close relationship with life and death. Dagoth is one of their primary deities, aside from the God Emperor himself. So the sight of necromancy and death-related magic is not uncommon in Tyrian society.
No, I sort of cottoned onto that the first time I signed up and was handed the the resurrection contract, but just seeing it in person was like I said, I don't remember you doing it before, and I know it's been a busy year, but I assume that's a result of some of your new studies.
Yeah, it's a Reaper spirit. John, I'm trying to remember. I think you gave me a name for it at one point because I remember Grumman asking this stuff before, and I'm blanking on it.
Hang on, let me find it.
Sorry. I remember you gave me a specific name because we were gonna name it something.
Your Reaper spirit's gonna be real sad you forgot his name.
Well,
Now we find out if John and I were naming our Reaper, we're naming the Reaper ghosts along the same lines.
Probably not. Let me see. It was before the fight.
Look, his name is Gabriel Reyes.
That's not it.
Nope.
It's you, Jeremy.
How long ago? It was a couple weeks ago, wasn't it, that I gave you the name?
It was, and I do remember asking, but I don't think you had it at that point.
No, I provided it. I think I provided it immediately.
Yeah. I just don't remember it off the top of my head.
I'm gonna duck back behind my 8 intelligence or whatever Grumman has and say I don't remember.
trying to find it. It's by y'all made a lot of rolls.
A little bit.
Sorry.
You threw us against an 18-stage boss fight.
There was a 3-stage boss fight and then a separate boss fight. You just happened to deal with all of them at once.
It was an initial 3-stage boss fight and then a second 2.5-stage boss fight.
And there were three dudes in the first boss fight, each of whom had multiple stages.
Let's just call it like it is. John tried to kill us.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
yes, I've not made that at all obscure.
the
I
end
don't
of the
see it
world.
in my notes, so maybe you didn't. We can
No,
just make
I
something
put
up.
it in chat.
Okay.
Which is why I'm trying to find it.
Well, we don't need to stop the stream for it.
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
moment. You can just
Keep going
just,
until I find it.
Its name
yeah,
is
say you tell me.
Joral, that's it. Joral.
Joral. There we go. And the Druids of Taram were part of the Circle of the Grim Harvest, which is about like the transition between life and death and making sure that it happens when it is time.
Well, that can absolutely be a mercy. I can certainly see. It seems that you all are very much in sync, moving together. Does Jorol have a will of their own?
Yeah.
Are they
It's a spirit.
ever able to come out? I will just, again, every time we see them, it's either mimicking exactly what you do or like today, merging in with you. So just, are they ever out and about on their own?
John, this is. Do you want me to just make stuff up for this? Or do you have-
They are sentient, but they are not
Okay.
animate. They can only
Okay.
manifest at your will, basically.
Okay. She's not gonna say it like that.
They live in the death realm and they can only come over when you call them, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like not. It's like anything you summon over from another side of things. They're not. It's Joral is not. I don't know how to explain this. It's just a thing that happens.
I don't mean to pry and I'm another question, but I don't want to be rude. You understand? I know we've all had a long day.
Uh-huh. It's No, what was your question?
Well, again, I'm not familiar with Taram other than what I've learned through you all, but I feel like based on that knowledge, I kind of have to ask: is you're all related to you?
Joral is a Reaper spirit. Has never been immortal. Never will be.
Okay, I was gonna say,
You
how
know-
would Robin know that? But I realize you're not talking.
No,
to
no. Yeah, I'm talking to
I
Mike.
have to say, I understand the question.
Grumman looks over at Annabella, like very clearly a little worried, and sort of whispers, "Was that rude? I'm not trying to be rude."
No, it wasn't, but it's
It's
dreadfully inaccurate.
it's amusing that I get where the question comes from because Tanya has
Yes.
a line of divinity that she is related to, but
Yes.
different god.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
So it's not immortal. That's not a spirit.
Yeah, it's
there
not.
are-
It's not a mortal. To make that
Yeah.
sentence clear.
And it's not immortal either.
No, it's not a. It's not a. It's not a.
It's neither.
It's not a living thing. It's not alive. It's a.
Uh-huh.
It's a force of nature.
It is a
It's-
fragment of the death god.
Titania's
It's-
gonna swear in Sylvan and then like try and explain it, and
Like it's
not.
Yeah, it's as alive as a lightning bolt is.
Yeah. No, it's
okay.
not. Like, not that I know of.
So it's not we couldn't use it to skip a few steps on our quest then.
What do you mean?
Well, it's not an immortal then to stand into the role that we were looking to find so that you or someone else could ascend to that point.
No.
All right.
Also, immortal things aren't invincible. That's the whole point of this.
Right.
Like,
Well,
this
I just I
and
know it
then-
wouldn't be the final answer, but I thought, maybe we could skip the whole step of somebody else having to become a god.
By the way, when Titania swears in Sylvan, Annabella replies in Sylvan with the equivalent of bless you.
The whole point of what we're trying to do, and we can't do it yet, clearly, and Titania will gesture over to the lamp of evilness that is now sitting by the door.
Right.
But immortal things die too.
Right.
Everything does.
Speaking of which, are we just going to carry that around with us? I mean,
I believe that Ithram has a plan with a particular spell that might
Yeah.
require Titania's assistance based on what's been mentioned already.
that would make me a bit more comfortable, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I was worried about that too.
As I mentioned immediately after, let's not do that again until we've got God-killing weapons.
Right, absolutely. Do we think one of those bloody great swords in there might be useful?
I believe those swords were a manifestation of the pact that was keeping him sealed, and I don't think they exist anymore.
That seems a right shame.
Honestly, given the apparent relationship that the erstwhile Mage King Kestrel had with this being, if he'd had the capacity to kill it with anything at his disposal, I think he definitely already would have.
Well, that makes sense. You're probably right.
So while we've garnered a number of very powerful artifacts, I would presume, we're still about where we were in terms of weapons that kill divine beings. What we have right now is a brilliant bit of a jail cell. But if the lantern cracks, we will be exactly where we were 20 minutes ago.
Perhaps a bit worse, because then we won't have the thing we just used to stop that.
Well, there are other things we do have, but we were... Titania's initiative definitely made it so we didn't have to experiment. Certainly the best decision we've made since accidentally waking up Kestrel.
Gent, do you know anything about the sword that Ithram came across? I saw him holding it as I was coming in, but I didn't actually.
Do I know anything about, can Gent make a roll to see if he knows anything about spell blades in general or anything like that?
I mean, yeah, you can make an Arcana roll. I mean, you've been told something about it, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he.
Yeah, I can't remember what Ithram passed along telepathically.
18.
Ithram hasn't identified it yet.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You recall that a spellblade was described. The spellblade was described as being a weapon wielded by warrior mages. Specifically, it's meant to allow a mage to empower the blade with their own magic, in order to provide them with an offensive martial weapon that. A phrase that you recall reading one point is that a spellblade can make a mage into the equal of the mightiest swordsman.
Yep. It's a unique and very, very powerful weapon. It's designed to let those of us that are a bit more arcanely talented stand toe to toe to an extent with those of a more martial bent.
Hmm.
Turning a wizard into a warrior, basically.
So you don't think it's legendary of any sort?
Oh, I'm sure it's got plenty of legends associated with it, but in terms of being able to chop the head off of a god and keep it down, don't know.
I feel like it would have done already.
Probably.
That's actually a really good point. It felt like a much smarter question before I asked it, honestly.
Yeah, it's all right. It's going to be important for all of us, I think, to be as well informed about our respective arsenals and those held by our friends
Part of
in
why
order
I'm so
for us to
very
make good tactical decisions as we
part
get
of
confronted by
why I'm
things.
so very keen to find a weapon that, according to history, has definitely killed an immortal being.
I think that's part of my thing as well. And I'm a little bit nervous considering we started off looking for several of them and so far we have 0.
We did find the regalia. I know that was the Mage King's regalia was one of the things on our list, so at least we can check that off.
Yes.
I do wonder as well. I know it's not an end in and of itself, but having this Titan in a jar, so to speak, still might come in handy. I mean, when we're squaring off against your great etc. uncle, what if we sort of lobbed it at him and then buggered
I
off?
think
like
that could make things very much worse, more likely than it could make things better.
All right. I just, like a
You
beehive.
don't want to give Ternalian a new playmate?
I don't want to witness
I-
a Pokemon battle.
I feel like the last thing the Titan would be concerned with is fighting the thing that can actually kill it, when it could be more concerned with fighting the things that couldn't kill it the last time it encountered them. And then we're specifically responsible for imprisoning it.
We don't have enough gym badges for this Pokemon to listen to us.
Damn it, Cody. Now all I can picture is like throwing the jar and then standing back and the Titan rising up and going, just, I like shorts. They're comfy and easy to wear.
I think Grummond is underestimating the power of that old saw about the enemy of my enemy also.
Well, and no, I think, yeah, the enemy of the enemy in this case, we're
Is
both
us.
their
Yes.
enemies. Yes, you're absolutely right. No, I see where this is going now. Yep.
I like that Git was like, well, no, I mean, what do you... Oh, wait, hang on.
No, that is what you're saying. Okay.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, we
Be like,
are the enemy of their enemy.
We are absolutely.
We are both their enemy and the enemy of their enemy. We are the enemy of their enemy for both of them.
So that does raise a good question, though. We have crossed one thing off our list. Where do we plan to head next?
John, did you say there was a glacier here or no?
You didn't see one.
All right.
You're on like sort of a cracked plateau where there is a ruin. You didn't really look around a whole lot before you jumped in the cottage. So
I had said Grumman was looking around for a glacier, but
I missed that.
No, there was a lot going on.
Give me a retroactive perception roll real quick.
Got it.
There's a place up here that I need to see, and then we do need to find the ritual of apotheosis, whether we intend to use it ourselves or not.
So with an 18, you would have seen. Yeah, I mean, to the north, absolutely. There are ice, like there's an entire continent of ice to the north. But more what you would have seen with an 18 is the spires of buildings to the south.
Okay.
So the southwest.
I just wanted to make sure we weren't like right next to the Ever Glacier and gonna miss it.
No. You were not right next to the Ever Glacier, but you did see that there was some sort of like city to the southwest of you.
On maps, I don't remember there being a city like up here.
Grumman will share that.
I mean, it's Kestrel's kingdom is the thing to the south.
I thought
The
that
thing,
was like
the
long
kingdom
dead.
that was hidden out of reality.
Were there fires burning? Any sign of life, or
Not
couldn't
that
tell?
all you could see was the spires of buildings
Okay,
beyond very like rocky terrain.
got it.
Yeah, like
Also,
we ended up in that red circle. The kingdom is to the south.
Got it.
I know I've weighed in on this before, but I really agree with Valdeth. I think that the ritual of apotheosis should be high on our list, regardless of who decides who uses it.
I don't want to leave that out there, but I also don't want to go after it without being prepared. I want to have at least one thing that can kill an immortal before we go after that.
Oh yeah, I didn't mean we should go after it next, but I do think that it's like before we go and challenge him, I think that's absolutely something that we should go and acquire. Like that needs to be on our list as far as like things that definitely need to happen.
We just fought an immortal thing. It wasn't a god, but it was an immortal thing. And we're probably going to fight more of them. And I feel like an immortal thing will probably be somewhere involved in the battle for the ritual of apotheosis. I want something that kills those things before we go there.
Absolutely, I completely agree.
All right. And which, forgive my memory, which place do you need to visit while we're still in the area, Paula?
There is an ancient lich yard to the north that Sin has pointed out to me that I need to see to make plans. Things are getting dangerous, and there's more threats that we have to deal with around here, and I need to know what I'm looking at before I try and make plans to try and deal with it.
Is this first death or mortal blade or
Neither. This is something else that threatens the plane that we might need to deal with at the same time.
right? All right.
It might be relating to the first death, as far as I know from what Sin's told me. But I doubt it. It's a place where death is very thin. Where it's a place where the line between life and death is very thin, as far as I know. But this is supposedly a scar left by an ancient evil that might be in danger of coming back, and I need to see its scar to know how dangerous it really is.
That's tomorrow then. Does everyone have warm clothes?
I do.
I've still got the clothing we had from Isfeld. Or sorry, not Isfeld. Uskurva.
You're in Eastfield now.
Yeah.
Scuzz? I'm looking at
Jesus Christ.
Scuzz specifically because Scuzz was the one. Scuzz and Vespia were the only ones who weren't.
Who's
in
never
the,
been to,
like-
yeah, Uskurva, yeah.
I have things I can layer on.
The clothes that Scuzz have wouldn't keep Scuzz warm in Taram.
Yeah.
Much
okay.
less here.
I'm gonna. Scuzz, you should take my cloak tomorrow or something. Heck, you can wear my like I have a short jacket and then it'll be a long jacket on you, and I think that would probably work. Can I give Scuzz my cold weather gear because I've got ways to deal with cold?
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, you can Scuzz your cold weather gear if you want.
Okay, I'll do that. So we're
Not gonna
prepared.
lie, if the class had existed by the time I was changing Valdeth's class, I might have turned Valdeth into a Reaper.
Is this Lich-Yard thing connected at all to the Lich that we dealt with, or is
No, I don't think so. I think it would be a different Lich.
this... Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, this would be related to the Lich that Galadir drove out of Isfeld.
All right. Well, unless we have objections, I don't mind charging off after a lich yard tomorrow.
It, according to the map, it shouldn't be too far. We should be able to make it there with a wind walk. You can clear what was it? Two squares in a day 2 squares in a day walking, and more if you wind walk.
No, 2 squares in a day if you wind walk.
Yeah, so we can get cross this one. We can get almost there with a wind walk in a day.
And this
We'd
this
be on.
is
We'd be near it at the end of the day with the Windwalk.
This is the same one that you were chasing down when we first met, is that right?
No.
This is a different one. We're going to piss off all the liches at once, is our plan, before we actually kill any of them.
Well, the Lich won't be there anymore. This is, as I mentioned, if this is related to anything, it would be the Lich that Galadir drove out of Isfeld.
We've already got
Which
so many
Sin will
problems.
confirm.
Okay.
We've already got so many problems. Are we sure we want to make one of them a lich? We got almost 100 problems.
I see where you're going with this. And we already have a lich as a problem. So we'll have to include that in the 99 or so that we have.
But no, if what I've been hearing about this is right, this might be far worse than any Lich.
How so exactly?
I want to see
As
it with
Grumman
my
asked
own,
the question on
I want to
everybody's.
I want to see it with my own eyes before I relate what I've been told, because I want to know if it's true first.
Darling,
I
it's one thing to not cause a public panic. It's another thing to drag us all to a lich yard and tell us, don't worry, it's much worse than you think, but I'm keeping it a secret right now.
That's fair. But the point here being, if this day, I still am not sure whether I believe this danger as far as it goes. But if it is truly what it has been told to me, it is far worse than any lich.
All right, so we are running on rumor here. This might be unconfirmed. That might not be quite as bad as all that. What's the worst it could possibly be based on what you know then, love?
A plain devouring plague that is not living nor dead, but consumes all matter in its wake and turns it into more of itself.
That's rather terrifying.
You know, I really miss the good old days when we had, a little time between days of like almost dying.
Oh, we're going to. We have to travel all day and sleep tomorrow, and the next day we chase down this elemental, whatever it is.
And now we'll
Thanks,
hand it to you.
Gin. I love your optimism.
I was going to ask, I'm new to this group. Are you guys often this suicidal?
Frequently.
What I'm going to look at in the Lich Yard is not the thing itself, but rather the scar of its passage.
All right.
How can we be most helpful to you then?
Keeping eyes open and not getting too close.
Oh, that I can do.
If something tries to kill you, kill it first.
Quite literally, my entire thing is not getting too close. So
Perfection.
Now, Grumman sort of checks. Oh, are there individual rooms here in the cottage?
There are 4.
4.
Can Scuzz have been put to bed in one of them?
Scuzz is currently being draped in Titania's cloak and also doesn't sleep.
Yeah, okay. So is Scuzz in earshot?
Yes.
Okay, never mind then.
If you would like to
Alright.
send
We
Scuzz
could
off on an
definitely get
errand
some
to
rest.
occupy, absolutely. But Scuzz doesn't
No,
sleep.
I want Scuzz to rest, so Grumman
Yeah.
will not do anything beyond that.
But we should definitely get some rest. And
Well, I'll take first watch.
Happy to sit up with you, or obviously, if you prefer one of your fiancés, I certainly wouldn't mind.
Now, there are only 4 bedrooms, so some people will need to share.
I feel like some of us will be perfectly fine sharing.
I'm fine out here. I don't need a bedroom. Is there a
there is a bit of natural sharing that happens within our group, but
As she says that, Vespia will look at Ithram and give a wink.
no, we
Ithram
all
is-
knew that.
Ithram is like halfway through the items right now. He's
on,
not paying
hold on.
attention to anything.
Hold on.
Disadvantage for this perception check.
All
I'm really
right.
paying.
Disadvantage. Now is when I'll notice.
He rolled 2 natural 20s.
I can't see what I rolled.
12.
12.
12.
No idea.
I'm leaving that one up to John.
Yeah, no, you not only did you miss it, you didn't even realize that your name was mentioned or that you were implied. Like you are deep in these items right now.
Special interest, man.
Like you've just got to the gorget, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Just here.
I'm not certain if I put full stock in this danger as it has been expressed to me, but if it is exactly what it has been told,
Did they give it a name?
no. At least not one that I have been told.
All right.
But I have been given some background on it. And if it is the threat that it has been told to me, that changes some of my plans and possibly some of ours as a group.
Fair enough. All right. So Gremlin and I will take first watch.
All right.
And I'll let the rest of you figure out the rest.
I'll take the second.
So before you all go to sleep, while you're still figuring out watches, is when Ithram will finish his identifying.
Excellent.
So Ithram, would you like me to just share
Yes.
the information mentally? Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm
he'll share it mentally and then explain it for Sin.
all right. Would you like to explain it, or would you like me to?
Well, since Jeremy's not here, we'll just say that I explained it.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, for everybody else, yeah. Yeah, you can do that.
Okay. So the first item that you'll see being added is the Griffin component pack. This special component pouch is stylized in the fashion of the legendary Griffin saddlebag, a classic motif in children's fiction. As an action, you can place an amount of coins equal to 5 gold plus the exact worth of a component you need for a spell you know in the bag and speak its command word, followed by the name of the needed component. When you do, the coins disappear from the bag and are replaced by the material component needed for the spell. Once this property of the bag has been used, it can't be used again until the next dawn. We're not ignoring the rest of that. Just that paragraph is the only thing that's relevant.
Yeah.
Then there is the Mage King's Chronal Sphere. This brass sphere is roughly fist size and weighs 1 pound. It vibrates gently while you hold it, as tiny mechanisms whir inside. While holding the sphere, you can use a bonus action to speak its command word, causing spectral clock hands to appear on its curved surface and indicate the current time. The hands remain on the surface on its curved surface. Sorry, the hands remain on the surface of the sphere until you speak the command word again. This property only functions on the material plane. Spells. While holding the sphere, you can use an action to cast either the haste or slow spell, save DC 18, no concentration required, from it. Once the sphere has been used to cast in this way, it can't be used to cast that spell again until you expend a spell slot of 3rd level or higher to restore the spell to the sphere.
Nice.
Doesn't require attunement.
Does not require attunement. The Mage King's Gauntlets. This pair of rich silk gloves are guarded by an enchanted mithril shell that sporadically releases arcane power. You can use the gauntlets as a spellcasting focus while wearing them, and when you cast a spell using a spell slot of 5th level or lower, you can choose to roll a d6. If you roll a number on the d6 equal to or greater than the spell's slot level, the spell draws on the magic within the gauntlets instead of your own, and it's cast without expending a spell slot. These would be the gloves that seem to have been made woven of metal.
Gotcha.
In universe, they're much more flexible than like the hard mithril shell it describes. The spell, you can choose. The spell draws the magic within the gauntlets instead of your own and is cast without expending a spell slot. The slot must be of a level you normally cast. The gauntlets can provide up to 5 levels worth of spell slots in this way each day, and no 2 slots can be the same level. If the number rolled on the d6 is less than the spell's slot level, you cast the spell as normal and expend the spell slot. If you don't have the spell slot to cast the spell fails, and the slot is counted towards the gauntlet's daily provided spell slots. So yeah, and there's an example. You've already identified the dimensional trousers. So next is the Mage King's Gorget, which I feel like I'm saying wrong, but I'm also feel like it is pronounced Gorget.
Yeah, I think it's Gorget.
This is
Gorget.
This is the biggest one. First of all, it requires
It's Gorget. It's Gorget. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a legendary item that requires attunement by a creature of good alignment. So half of you are out.
Wow.
Actually, I think I might waive that good alignment, but we'll see. This magical gorget is imbued with the divine power of a planetar, and has been passed down through multiple generations, manifesting a different power for each wearer. While wearing the gorget, you have resistance to radiant damage and gain the following benefits. If you have a feature that allows you to ignore class, race, if you have a feature that allows you to ignore class, race, or level requirements when you use a magic item, you can choose to gain the benefits of one of these properties. You make this choice the first time you attune to the item. So it basically has a number of different abilities that it gains based on if you have 10 or more levels of a specific class. The one that will be relevant for Ithram at the moment is the
Celestial Wards.
Yes, the
wizard one.
Yes,
trying to find
Celestial
it.
Wards. It's at the bottom.
Very last one.
Thank you. Celestial Wards. If you have 10 or more levels in the wizard class, your AC becomes 13 plus your dexterity or intelligence modifier, your choice. In addition, you have advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical effects. Things that might be relevant for others, because several of you are not any of the classes listed on this list. So unfortunately, you wouldn't get anything. Rogue for Scuzz. Heavenly Messenger. If you have 10 or more levels in the Rogue class, you can use a bonus action to cast the invisibility spell, no concentration required, from the Gorget, targeting only yourself. Once the spell has been cast, it can't be cast again until you finish a short or long rest. In addition, you can speak telepathically to any creature within 30 feet. Within 30 feet of you, the creature understands you only if the two of you share a language. You can speak telepathically in this way to one creature at a time. We have a Ranger, so Sight of the Celestial Warden. If you have 10 or more levels in the Ranger class, you have advantage on Wisdom Perception checks and gain True Sight out to 15 feet. In addition, you can see up to 1 mile away with no difficulty and are able to discern fine details as though looking at something from no more than 100 feet away. We don't have a Paladin. We don't have a Fighter. We have a Druid. Herald of Omens. If you have 10 or more levels of the Druid class, the Gorget becomes covered in vines and leaves. While wearing it, you always have the Control, Weather, and Insect Plague spells prepared. And if they don't count against the number of spells you can prepare each day. In addition, you can use a bonus action to summon a pair of white feathered wings from your back. While the wings exist, you have a flying speed of 60 feet. The wings last until you are incapacitated, die, or dismiss them as a bonus action. We don't have Bard, Cleric, or Barbarian, but we do have a Warlock as our last thing.
And a monk.
Oh, wait. Does a monk get anything?
Angelic.
Oh,
Grace.
yeah.
Angelic
So,
Grace.
Angelic Grace for monks.
Does
If
this
you
not
have-
count as armor?
No. If you have 10
okay.
or more levels, it's a magic
wondrous item.
It's a wondrous item. If you have 10 or more levels in the monk class, your walking speed increases by 10 feet, and you have advantage on the ability checks to resist being grappled. In addition, while you aren't wearing any armor, you gain a +2 bonus to your AC. And then Pact of the Voracious Awareness for Warlock. If you have 10 or more levels in the Warlock class, you know if you hear a lie. If you hear a creature tell a lie, you can attempt to force the creature to tell the truth. The creature must succeed on a charisma saving throw against your spell save DC or be compelled to answer the next question you ask it truthfully. You can use this ability a number of times equal to your charisma modifier, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest.
Well, that's pretty awesome.
All
When
of
you
these.
When you identified that, Ithram, you had a better understanding of what Kultir meant when he said was a good friend. Or was a friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next is the Mage King's Greaves. These mithril greaves feel weightless despite being made from metal. While wearing the boots, small jets of storming vapor pour from their sides when you move. While wearing the greaves, you are under the effect of the jump spell. Your movement speed increases by 10 feet, and you have resistance to lightning and thunder damage. The greaves have 5 charges and regain 1d4 plus 1 expended charges daily at dawn. While wearing the greaves, you can stomp the ground or tap your heels together as an action and expend one of their charges to create one of the following effects, or 2 charges to create both at the same time. You summon a torrent of wind beneath your feet, propelling you upward. You get a flying speed equal to your walking speed and can hover for 10 minutes. Or you summon a battering whirlwind around you. Any creature within 5 feet of you must make a DC 17 strength saving throw. On a failed save, they take 3d8 bludgeoning damage and are flung up to 20 feet away from you and knocked prone. If the thrown target strikes an object, such as a wall or floor, the target takes 1d6 bludgeoning damage for every 10 feet it was thrown. If the target is thrown at another creature, that creature must succeed a DC 17 dexterity saving throw or take the same damage and be knocked prone. If the saving throw is successful, the creature takes half bludgeoning damage and isn't flung away or knocked prone. Next is the Mage King's Helm. I'm glad I'm doing this because it definitely would take Ithram longer to say all of this in character.
Is this and did I understand correctly that basically all of the armor pieces, the regalia, could most effectively be worn by one person because they only take up a single.
Yeah, if they're
the sphere, the trousers, the gauntlet, the gorgets, the greaves, the helm, the robe, the shield, the signet can all be attuned at the same time by one person.
So the trousers don't actually require attunement. I was going
And
to
neither
ask
does
about
the
that.
sphere.
And
Yeah.
yeah, neither does the sphere.
But they do have to be
They
all
have to be
together.
worn together. Okay.
That's part of
For the
regalia.
rest of them. Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. That's what I was making sure.
So like if you don't wear them all together, they don't require attunement. But whoever is attuning to all of them has to have those on as well.
Okay.
I see. Okay.
So effectively, the ones that don't require attunement do require attunement if you want to get the set bonus, basically. So the Mage King's Helm. While wearing this item, you gain a +1 bonus to AC if you're wearing no armor. You can still use a shield and gain this benefit. In addition, while wearing no other armor, the helm becomes suffused with glory and glimmers for 1 minute whenever you land a critical hit with a weapon attack. While under this effect, you gain temporary hit points at the start of each of your turns, equal to half your character level, and friendly creatures within 10 feet of you can't be frightened.
Nice.
The Mage King's Shield. This is the other gauntlet that you saw, and yes, these can be worn with the Mage King's gauntlets. They would go over. An open metal shield and gauntlet offer this open metal shield and gauntlet offer a +1 bonus to your armor class instead of a shield's normal bonus. Whenever you are the target of an attack made with the metal weapon or projectile, the bonus becomes +3 instead. The shield hovers above the gauntlet to protect you as if you were wielding it, leaving your hands free. So it's a shield that you just get to have without having to actually take up your hand. Shooting Star. As an action, you can throw the shield at up to 3 clustered targets you can see before returning it to your arm. Choose up to 3 targets or points. The first target or point must be within 30 feet of you, and any additional targets or points must be within 10 feet of the one before it. You can't select the same target more than once. Make a ranged attack again with the shield against each target. You are proficient with these attacks and add your dexterity or strength modifier to the attack and damage rolls. Targets hit by the attack take 2d8 magical slashing damage. Once the shield reaches a target or point, it bounces towards the next target or point. The shield flies back to the gauntlet after reaching its final destination, bouncing harmlessly off of anything obstructing its path.
Destiny Void Sentinel.
I was gonna say Xena's
Mhm.
throwing ring, but you do you, I guess.
Captain
Literally
America's
a shield. It's a Captain America shield.
The Mage King's Signet. This roughly crafted metal ring seems to have an otherworldly pull on other metallic items. While wearing the ring, you can spend 1 hour holding on to an object weighing no more than 25 pounds that is at least 50% metal. If the ring and metallic item are in contact for a full hour, they form a powerful and magically controllable magnetic bond. You can only have one item bound to the ring in this way at a time. Currently, the Spellblade is bound to the ring. While the bound item is within 40 feet of you and unobstructed, you can use a bonus action on your turn to magically pull it up to 20 feet towards you. The returning item bounces harmlessly against creatures and objects as it passes by. The Mage King's Spellblade. This item appears to be a short sword hilt. While grasping the hilt, you can use a bonus action to expend a spell slot of first level or higher to activate the sword, causing a blade of pure energy to spring into existence. The sword remains activated for 8 hours or until you deactivate it early using an action. Once you activate the sword in this way, you can use it as a spellcasting focus, and you are proficient with the spell sword for the duration. You can use your spellcasting ability instead of strength or dexterity for your attack and damage rolls using this weapon, which deals force damage instead of piercing damage. If you activate the sword using a 3rd or 4th level spell slot, its damage die becomes a d8, and you gain a +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with it. If you use a 5th or 6th level spell slot, its damage dice becomes a d10, and the bonus becomes a +2 instead. If you use a 7th level or higher, its damage dice becomes 2d6, and the bonus increases to +3 instead. When you deactivate the weapon early using an action, the remaining magic stored within the blade erupts into a wave of energy. Each creature in a 10-foot cone must make a DC 15 dexterity saving throw. A creature takes 3d6 force damage on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one. If the sword was activated using a 3rd or 4th level spell slot, the force damage becomes 4d8, 5d10 if it was activated with a 5th or 6th level spell slot, and 6d12 if it was activated with a 7th level spell slot or higher. The blade emits bright light in a 20-foot radius and dim light for an additional 20 feet, and disappears if the sword is no longer activated, or if you let go of the weapon while holding the activated sword. You use the bonus action to cause the blade to vanish or reappear. Additionally, while wielding the spell blade, you know the mystical blade cantrip, and can substitute the cantrip's damage and attack bonus for the damage and attack bonus of the activated spell blade, whichever is higher. The mystical blade cantrip is in the what's the book?
Arcane Archive.
From the Arcane Archive, yes.
Yeah.
From the Arcane Archive book. Only 3 left.
Yeah.
The Mastery Gem is next. This cut red gemstone seems to glint with some sort of liquid inside. The gem is impervious to attacks and damaging effects. The gem contains magic absorbed from countless other sources that it used to overpower the requirements of certain item attunements. While holding the gem against another item that requires attunement by a class or race other than you can attune to the new item nonetheless. This new item can be neither legendary nor an artifact. The gem fuses to the surface of a new item and encases the area around it in a crystalline shell. You can unattune to the new item as normal, even if the item is cursed. Unattuning to the cursed item in this way breaks the curse's effect on you. When you unattune to the new item, the gem detaches from the item, allowing you to use it on another item. The crystalline shell remains on the unattuned item. The crystal absorbs any of the item's magic when it is removed this way, causing the item to become mundane and non-magical once you unattune to it. It didn't seem like it was attached to anything when you found it, Kent. But it's an item that lets you overcome class requirements and things.
I don't appreciate the amount of will in that flavor text sentence. You're muted, Jack.
At the expense of resale value.
You will bend to my will. I will be your master. Next is the staff. The Royal Incinerator.
Nice.
This crimson and gold staff
Downstairs next to the royal furnace.
I just want to say, if y'all had not started talking to him first, he would have been able to do so much nasty things to you with these items. This crimson and gold staff exudes authority and is always warm to the touch. While held, a mote of harmless fire sparks into life and floats above its crown-like head. The staff can be wielded as a magic quarterstaff that grants +2 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with it. On a hit, the target takes an extra 1d8 fire damage. You have resistance to fire damage while you hold the staff. The staff has 15 charges for the following properties. The staff regains 2d6 plus 3 expended charges daily at dawn. If you expend the last charge, roll d20. On a 1, the staff erupts into a pillar of flame and is destroyed. The flames erupt into a 20-foot radius cylinder that's 80 feet tall. Each creature in the area must make a DC 17 dexterity saving throw, taking 8d6 fire damage on a failed save or half as much on a successful one. Protective Flame. When a creature that you can see hits you with an attack while you're holding the staff, you can use a reaction to expend any number of charges from the staff to reduce the attack's damage against you by an amount equal to 5 times the number of charges you expend. If the attacker is within 5 feet of you, it also takes fire damage equal to the amount of damage that was reduced in this way. And spells. While holding the staff, you can use an action to expend 1 or more of its charges to cast one of the following spells from it, using your spell save DC and spell attack bonus. Fire Shield, 4 charges, Warm Shield only. Fireball, 3 or more charges. Scorching Ray, 2 or more charges. And when you cast Fireball or Scorching Ray from the staff in this way, you can increase the spell slot level by 1 for each additional charge you expend. And finally, the Tome of Lost Knowledge. This gold-trimmed book's cover is embossed with a portrait of Ogden Fellweaver, a legendary wizard infamous for his ill-gotten knowledge. If you can attune to this item, you can use it as a spellbook and an arcane focus. If your attunement to the book ends, anything written in the book disappears. When you prepare wizard spells using this as your spellbook, the number of spells you can prepare increases by 3. Absorb knowledge. Immediately after a creature you can see within 60 feet of you casts a spell of first level or higher, you can use your reaction to make an intelligence arcana check. The DC equals 10 plus the spell's level. On a success, the spell is magically added to the book in your own notation. You must be holding the book to use this property. If the added spell is a wizard spell and of a level for which you have spell slots, you can prepare the spell just like your other spells. If the spell is not a wizard spell, its notation is garbled and impossible to use. Once this property has been used, it can't be used again until a number of days equal to the spell's level have passed. Shift knowledge. While using this book as your spell book, you can replace up to 3 spells of your prepared spell list when you finish a short rest. Once the property has been used, it can't be used again until the next dawn. Unknown knowledge. While holding the book, you gain an action to channel its hidden knowledge. When you do, you gain proficiency in one skill or tool of your choice until the next dawn. If you're already proficient in the chosen skill or tool, your proficiency bonus is instead doubled for any ability check you make using that skill or tool. Once the property has been used, it can't be used again until the next dawn. Yes, that does stack with the absorb knowledge ability. That was unknown knowledge. Finally, curse. This book is cursed. And becoming attuned to it extends the curse to you. As long as you remain cursed, you are unwilling to part with the book, keeping it within reach at all times. In addition, you are compelled to use the book as your spellbook. Each time you prepare a spell from another spellbook, you take psychic damage equal to the spell's level. Obviously, it has no spells in it.
I want that one.
How many years have you studied?
What's that?
How many years have you studied arcane knowledge?
Are we talking arcane?
I just open it up. Can you read this passage?
There's no words in it.
I know.
That's why I thought it would be best if I held on to it.
Well, that's certainly a bundle for you there, Ithram.
Quite a bit.
I don't suppose anyone else is going to object to our wizard taking this bundle of artifacts and utilizing them as a unit.
I don't think so. I think that's going to get the most mileage out of them in the first place.
By all means, it's got your name all over it.
Also, it was literally the thing that you were looking for.
Yes.
Ithram, in fact, if you don't mind my saying so, it's even your color. Vespia, don't you think? Don't you think he'd look absolutely dashing in it?
Absolutely.
Come on, put it on. Give us a little twirl.
So pointedly, the spellblade, the incinerator, and the tome of lost knowledge are not part of the regalia.
Yeah.
And neither is the mastery gem for obvious reasons.
Yeah, neither is master gem or the component pack.
But if anybody really wants to fight Ithram for the spellblade, he's got a wish and knows plenty of spells that will make you disappear. He hasn't unattuned to any of them yet, but he will take off the gauntlets and he'll set the staff of thunder and lightning down along with the other. Perhaps you or Vespia could make, looking at Titania, could make use of these illusionist bracers.
I don't remember what these things
Double
are.
cantrips.
Yeah.
double
When you cast a
cantrips.
cantrip, you can bonus action to cast the same cantrip.
That'd be real good.
That'd be real good.
It'd be real nice. I would.
Um,
I would not object, and I have an open slot because I'm getting rid of the lantern. So
Does-
You're not going to be attuned to the lantern and open it and close it all the time anymore?
No.
Sorry, real quick, Vespia.
I was just going to say, Vespia would say, go ahead to Titania.
Also, I don't think does Chandler get cantrips?
Yes, I think.
I think they're paladin-like, aren't they? Do they?
Yeah, no, they still get cantrips. They're specific subclasses that give them cantrips.
Okay, yeah, they get very specific selections of cantrips. That's right.
Yeah.
Not that I have very many useful cantrips, but
Tanya's like, I'm gonna dual wield the hell out of some druid craft. Boom.
I
was
can
just gonna say,
control flames. So
Spare
I
the
can-
dying, spare the 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 dying.
That's not one I have.
You could also give that to. You could technically give. It
Yes,
to Sin,
also yes, Sin as well.
That's
Which
probably
would let
Who can
Sin-
double up Eldritch Blast?
Yeah.
which would let
That's-
Sin fire 8 Eldritch Blasts
That's
around.
probably better, to be honest. 'cause
Give
I-
it to the machine gun warlock.
Well, it was that, or I keep them and then I cast Mystical Blade 8 times.
There's also that. Because for those that are unfamiliar, Mystical Blade is a cantrip that basically lets you do a sword attack, and at levels where you would increase damage die
It's
or beams,
basically
you get an extra
melee.
attack.
It's a melee Eldritch Blast,
Yeah.
Is that functionally what Kestrel was doing with those swords? The giant magical swords?
No, that was animate objects, but a special variant for him that let him get gargantuan objects.
I'm really into those big swords, if you can't tell.
We can tell.
What was the other thing you were on tuning for, Anthem? It was
Staff of
The
Thunder and
stuff-
Lightning.
Yeah, stuff of Thunder.
I remember
The thing that Valdeth was
Mhm.
wielding for most of the first season.
Don't need another staff though.
Hit him with the bonk stick.
Mm-hmm. The Shaki Bonk.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, if Vespia has an open attunement slot, she could probably make use of the Staff of Thunder and Lightning.
I mean, it's worse than her current sword.
It literally shoots lightning bolts and detonates something.
She's good with what she's got right now.
Bella?
Would you like a melee weapon?
That shoots lightning
Last
bolts.
resort.
I feel I should clarify. It is
It
not just
does-
a quarterstaff, it
it-
also shoots lightning bolts.
Yes, it does.
Oh yeah.
And
And it's a relic of my family, so
Yes.
if
You
that's
want
I
that
suppose
back.
so, yeah. I was like, before we got to the lightning bolt part, or before Valdez reminded me of the lightning bolt part, I was gonna say my entire thing is literally staying out of the fray. If they're close enough for me to hit them with that thing, I've done several things very wrong. But with the fact that it shoots lightning in mind, yes, I will take that.
excellent.
Like, the only other person that can make use out of it is Drummond, with the fact that it's technically a monk weapon.
Oh yeah.
You're
Done?
muted still, Craig.
No, I'm quite all right. I tend to work better up close and personal anyway. So you should take it. I think you'd look quite formidable with it. I don't know. Seems like it might come in handy.
Kent could also take this ancestral item from his family if he wanted.
Yeah, he's full up on attunement slots right now.
So is Valdeth, which is why she gave it away anyway.
I'll take it.
All right.
Excellent.
So, are you going to spend a while attuning to all those items with them?
Yes.
So what's your final loadout? Are you going to be attuning to the Tome of Lost Knowledge?
No, I'm not, because
It's empty right now.
Yes, it's empty. And the Crystalline Chronicle that I have currently, I can't afford to transfer it all over.
I like the idea that you're just going to be a mage with 2 floating spheres, because you've got the Chronal Sphere and the Crystalline Chronicle, so you've just got these 2
But I
orbs
am-
floating.
Yeah, I am gonna have.
It's like
the
truck
tome.
nuts for a wizard.
Yeah. Oh.
Now he's regretting it.
You're welcome, everybody.
On that
Whole new-
note, we're going to
Whole
take
new meaning to pondering your orb.
On that note, we're going to take a quick break because my throat is dry after I did all that talking. So we're gonna really quickly just go step away, grab some drinks, use the bathroom, and be back in just a few minutes. If you're watching live, please stay tuned for these commercial messages. And remember, when we take our break, you take your break. So stand up, stretch your legs, move around, do whatever you need to do. We'll be back in just a few minutes. We're back. A dinosaur story.
It is a dinosaur story now. There was a dinosaur.
Yeah.
It's in the story.
Yeah. This is just Mara's way of going, I've accepted this.
Meanwhile,
Reluctantly, yes.
The Mage King's regalia has been fully identified. Ithram has attuned to most of it. And you have all set about watches. So is there anything that anybody else wants to do before you go to bed?
Vespia would like to speak to Ithram.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm currently sharing something. Before they go to bed, Vespia will just ask him. Earlier, when you were speaking with Gent, he mentioned your friend. Who is this?
It was it was Coltier. You know of him?
Does Vespia know of him?
Yeah, Kultir is in the cosmology of Gran Terra. Kultir is one of the gods of the Vile Consortium. I think, or is he in the the
He
neutral
used
sect?
he used to be in the neutral sect, but he got moved to the Vile Consortium.
Yeah. Yeah, he's one of the gods of the Vile Consortium. He is the god of war. Often associated with various goblinoid races.
he's formerly an arbitrator and has been moved to the Vile Consortium.
I do not personally know him, but I know of him, yes.
Up until recently, I also did not know him personally. That was unexpected.
If you don't mind me asking what happened.
By the way, as you sort of like are changing out your gear and disrobing your armor, Ithram, because you have to not be wearing armor to get the benefits of some of those items.
Yes. Yeah.
You notice that there is a Kultir's symbol has been sort of branded into your collarbone.
Oh.
That was the burning sensation that you felt.
Yeah. 1 + 1 = 2. You got it.
Funny how much he can't put other things together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other things aren't as obvious to him. But
would Vespia recognize that as his symbol?
Not necessarily. Kultir's symbol is not one that is commonly used.
Mm-hmm.
But Ithram has had a necklace with that symbol and another one since you've known him. So like it's not unfamiliar, it's just now it's on him instead of on his necklace.
Is that new?
Very. It is a gift from Kultir, I believe. That's at least his mark.
Is all of this willing?
Yes. Before I met you and shortly after I met the rest of the Steelhearts, I had a vision in a similar setting where I actually had my conversation, albeit brief, with Kultir. When I inquired, I was told that this may be a harbinger of the trials of Kultir. So it is willing I sought this out.
All right. I just
As
wanted
you
to
say
make
that,
sure.
as you say that out loud, you realize that brand means you have passed the trials of Kultir.
Yeah, we'll see if he'll fully press a hit. He'll sleep first.
Just wanted to make sure it was willing. Sometimes it's not.
Yes, I know. Mortals and gods definitely don't always have the same dynamic, but this I sought. Thank you for asking that.
Thank you for answering. We should probably get some rest.
Just a bit. Good.
All right.
Yep.
So you all get a long rest. Watches are had. There doesn't seem to be much life in this area. So those of you that are on watch overnight, you keep an eye out the windows of this homely cottage in the middle of nowhere. Nothing even approaches to seem interesting. To seem interested.
Gent spends the entire watch. He does not look out a single window. He locks eyes with that lantern and blinks as little as possible.
Yeah, the one bit of malevolence in the area is in fact the lantern by the window.
Right? Yeah, and he is just watching that thing like a fucking hawk.
Give me a sorry, Craig, we'll get to you in just a second. But Jack, give me a wisdom save with disadvantage. Craig,
Okay.
what are you saying?
No, we can do it after this. No worries.
11.
Oh
Did you
god.
eat the hero's feast?
No,
Oh,
I was
shit.
the one person who didn't.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
You're trying really hard not to blink, and you're very exhausted from the fight.
Mm-hmm.
So you do occasionally nod off, just like do that sort of like
Mm-hmm.
nod.
Yep, the head jerk. Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And during one of those, you swear you saw that thing move.
Mhm.
Craig,
Drummond, I realize you're trying to be exceptionally quiet right now, but did that lantern, has it always been sitting exactly there?
I think what happens here is Gent turns for maybe the first time to reach out to Grummond. Grummond's not there. Grummond's outside.
Okay.
You turn to look,
Fantastic.
and Grummond's not there.
Fuck.
Oh my god, the lantern got him.
Yep. No, it's the point. He's like, well, it was bound to happen at some point.
So where is Grummond right now, Craig?
Just outside, sort of on patrol, strolling around. No sleeves, hands tucked into his pocket. He's curious if anything is approaching the cottage, and also would like to see if there are any lights or other signs of life from that city to the south.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Okay. 5. Natural 1.
Mostly right now, the only thing that's going through your head are the lyrics to Snowblind, because a blizzard has settled in, which has made visibility basically nil. The only light in the area is coming from the house, and in fact, you're pretty certain that you probably can't even be seen from inside the house if someone were to be looking out.
Okay.
You do, however, hear a chair shuffle and someone go "fuck" from inside the house.
I'm running back inside. I'll
So-
burst in, covered in snow.
Gent.
Hey, Jay, what sort of thing going on? You all right? Just like bursting in, covered. It looks like a tiny little
a
Yeti.
snowman. Just a little
Yeah.
Yeti just bursts in the front door.
Oh. Would have sworn you were dead. All right.
No, not yet. That happens sometimes when I go to sleep, but I don't think I nodded off quite yet. Everything all right? I heard a commotion.
I thought you were still sitting there. Gestures at a chair like 15 feet away.
No. I went out to stretch my legs, take a look, see if anything was, creeping up on us from the outside. It's blowing up a real bad one out there, though. Couldn't spot a damn thing.
How many times have you stolen things, Drummond? I mean, significant things. I'm not talking about, muffins when your mother wasn't looking.
I've got some scars to show you in that regard, but if I'm honest with you, Gent, an idea here or there throughout decades of running the business, but not much beyond that.
All right. I'm considering a heist.
Oh, that sort of thing.
Yes.
Never done it, but it always sounded a lot of fun.
All right.
What are we heisting?
The plunder of the hells.
That's about what I thought you were going to say, to be honest. What's the plunder of the hells?
Soul coins, specifically.
Right, the ones we're going to make into bullets.
That's correct. I'd like to have more than 2 shots.
Are these aren't the ones that young Scuzz in there has got around his neck and on his fingers and such like, as I'm assuming.
As far as I know, those are a bit different.
That's good. I wouldn't want to steal from any one of ours, but you're talking about actual literal hells then. Stealing.
Oh, indeed.
Demons or devils, or I can never keep them straight.
Well, one of the benefits on that would be we're likely to be confronting any of them in one of the few places where they might be mortal. So,
that sounds. I suppose that's nobody could object to going in and doing that sort of thing. But right, the soul coins, that could be useful. John, do I know of any do I know of any infernal cuisine? Any rumors?
Give me a cooking utensils check with intelligence.
Oh boy. Okay.
That should still be a positive modifier.
Yeah, I'm just gonna roll a d20. It'll be at +5. Nine.
Any check made using cook's utensils within the cottage has advantage on the roll. Technically, this is being made using cook's utensils, so we're only in.
Well, 12.
That was
that was a D12 you just rolled.
Oh. Well, so by the transitive property, that's a 20. All right, 22.
Okay. So with a 22, there's a group of people called Fiend Hunters, and you imagine they probably have cooked demon at some point, but you don't know any recipes specifically, but you could always try. You could always experiment.
Less, eating demons and more finding things that demons make to eat or devils make.
Nothing specific. Demons and devils don't really require nourishment.
Neither do I.
so they don't have cuisine.
Okay.
You
Probably a
don't.
couple of them that do, but it's like this really weird hobby, and the other demons kind of look at them sideways.
Any demonic chefs are going to either be mortals that happen to have pacts with demons, or like it's a very specific hobby,
Okay.
and
All
more
right,
often than
all
not, probably involves the flesh of the living.
Sure. All right. Yeah. So Grumman just sort of is nodding and says, "Hey, well, I mean, it's on the list, and it's all about saving the world, isn't it? So count me in. Let me know what I can do, Kent. I'm here to help."
Listen, you haven't lived until you tried my hellfire empanadas.
Infernals.
I mean, now I need to come up with who the devil is. That oh no, I know who cooks food. No, I know who it is now. Never mind.
Guy Fiery.
No,
Yeah.
no. You've
Okay.
already met him.
Fuck that guy.
Anyways,
Gent just kind of fades back into silence and is still eyeballing that lantern
by
hard.
the time second watch comes around, Gent's asleep in the chair. Who wakes Gent up?
Valdez was going to take second watch, presumably with Titania.
Yeah.
So-
Hi.
Grumman will come gently knock on the door. Gent fell asleep. I thought it probably might prefer it if you all were to wake him.
I got a better idea, Valdez says as she
Well,
walks
and
over to Gent.
He's definitely like feet planted either side of the chair, leaning back, gun in hand, like head down on chest.
Valdez is going to very carefully lift Gent and the chair
Make an athletics check.
with my advantage from my ring of the septum ring of the Minotaur.
Oh,
Yeah.
if you already have advantage, I was going to say Grumman will happily assist if you'll let him.
Also, I should point out that I have carrying capacity of a creature a size larger than me, so I can lift things as if I was a large creature.
Make the roll.
So, athletics. 30.
Oh yeah, no, like a baby's crib. You just lift him, chair and all.
And just carry him into the room and set him down.
The jostle from the chair being set down does wake you up, Gent.
Okay.
You wake up in a different room.
How is she carrying the chair? From the front or the back?
Probably like literally almost bridal style, like one hand under the seat of the chair and one hand like cradling the back of the chair, like at a slight angle, and then just like sets it
I'm
down.
gonna roll a d4. 2, which would be all right. So yeah, the gun just goes to the left and fires. Bang!
Just shit hits a wall.
What?
I was trying not to wake you, but
Next time, just wake me up, love.
I feel like that same gunshot would have gone off if I'd woken you up.
No, because I would have not been in unfamiliar environs. Where are we?
In your room.
Gent has not been upstairs in this place yet.
Is the door open or closed?
Probably
door's
still open because you probably
door's
just
open.
opened it. And walked
Oddly
in.
though, like Grumman, you didn't hear a gunshot.
Oh, okay.
Nobody else did either.
Well insulated walls here.
It's meant to be very cozy.
Mm-hmm.
In
Or
any
soundproofing.
event, your shift's over. Go get some sleep. The bed's right there.
Right. He holsters the gun, walks over to the bed, does not take off any, just face down.
Walks back out. And shuts the door.
Yeah. That's one of the things.
He's very jumpy.
He is. As we're walking downstairs, we'll loop my arm into yours and lean.
We're not. I can't remember. We're not that significantly different in height because
No,
you're very
we
short
aren't.
for an elf, and I'm very
This
tall for a
works.
dwarf.
It's not a height difference. Sin came and asked you about the thing because of Galadir.
I.
I thought so.
But if I'm guessing right, you don't want to use the thing anyway.
It. I started on like that process to become godly or whatever, and it was painful and it hurt and I felt very sick and it wasn't good for me.
Mm-hmm. Well, to fill you in at least on the full details, the thing we're going to see and observe its impact to get the full measure of it is the thing that Galadir is keeping in place on his tower.
I saw a glimpse of it.
And Galadir, as powerful as he is slowly dying. And if he dies, whatever that is gets loose.
When?
Presumably when he dies.
Yes, I'm saying it's a when.
Yeah.
It's not an if.
Well, that's the reason Sin came to me first, knowing that I would be the most likely to understand the situation and see it logically. We need the, if this threat is as large as Sin makes it, and I think it might be, then we would need the ritual of apotheosis not for you, but for Galadir, to keep him from dying and keep that seal in place.
Or for Sin, or...
I don't think Sin wants that kind of annoyance. I don't think being all the power that comes with being a god, I don't think it's the thing that Sin would enjoy doing.
Okay. I'm still annoyed that you didn't want to tell the rest of the group or like say things when we were there talking about it.
Still don't know if I believe it.
Okay.
I don't want to start throwing around plans and ideas for something that I'm not sure I'm fully behind.
Uh-huh.
Which is why I want to see it first.
But we also all deserve to know what we're walking into and all of that. And you are carrying all of this like you are the only one who can carry it. That is not the case.
I'm well aware.
You're very good at this. You're
We are.
magnificent.
I'm more just, I don't want to get everyone's hackles up for nothing. I don't want to put this idea in everyone's head if it's not something I think we're going to have to carry through with.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. I'm just saying you don't have to carry all of this all by yourself. Okay?
All right.
Okay. Also, I'm a little worried about Gent.
As am I. He's been
Twitchy.
very.
It reminds me, I've known him for longer than you have.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a lot. His uncle did stuff.
It does remind me a little bit of when we first met. Not quite the same, but there was that same kind of hesitance to look at or trust anyone.
I'm just worried if he becomes. I don't know. I just wanted to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm looking out for it too.
Good. I like the snow.
It's very nice. I like the temperature. I've always really enjoyed the mixture of heat and cold rather than entirely in one or the other. The constant sensation of cold and hot meeting around you.
Do you think there are volcanoes up here? Because that would be like kind of same sort of thing.
Maybe.
We could honeymoon there. And Titania's just gonna keep going on, kind of.
Oh yeah.
Chit-chatting through.
Oh yeah.
through our
Idle
watch.
conversation. Valdeth is like me, the kind of person who would ride in the middle of winter with the heat on, but the windows rolled down.
Ah.
I also do that. So, second watch passes. Whomsoever takes third watch, do you do anything with it?
I wasn't planning to do anything specific now.
And we'll say Sin and Scuzz take it. And all of you,
Sounds good.
get your long rests.
Yay, hit
thank
points.
What are the
Goodbye, Baking
how do
and
hit
Meat.
points work? I mute. No, I didn't.
Nope.
You regain all of your hit points, and you regain
Oh,
up
cool.
to half of your hit dice on a long rest.
If you spent any on like short rests or any features that use them.
Right.
I don't think we took any of those.
Weird, huh?
It was just fucking boss rush time yesterday.
Look, we had 4 hours for the raid.
No wipes.
No wipes. It's
That's
true.
World first, baby.
No deaths at all. 2 of you had to use combat res. No deaths at all.
We didn't say no deaths. We said no wipes.
Yeah, we'll get up in the morning and see if he has to fix a hole in the. No, actually, he'll just go straight to Vespia and apologize for putting a bullet hole in her cottage.
Weirdly, there's no bullet hole in your cottage.
He didn't check.
Sorry about your chest.
He specifically didn't phrase it that way.
I did.
I know.
You know Vespia would like it if you phrased it that way.
Absolutely. Yeah, she's probably just in her room waking up.
Okay. Well, he'll wait until she's actually awake and out then. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's not going to be like, put on some clothes. Ithram, I need to talk to your girlfriend.
Not in my house.
My room. I set the dress standard.
But yeah, she'll come out.
Okay.
Go to get food at some point.
There was a firearms discharge last night, and I put a bullet in the wall of one of the rooms. I do apologize.
Oh, that's fine.
Excellent.
I've done so much worse in here.
I believe it.
How close to the room is that?
This is down in like the main area. I think we're all
never
like
mind.
eating food and stuff. Yeah.
Well, like she would probably come out with Ithram, so
If Grumman can hear that, he just goes, worse or better?
it depends. Little of both.
He just gives you a smile and a thumbs up.
Valdez, do you mind if I borrow some money? And Ithram, can I see that
The component pouch.
pack?
Yeah.
Yes. Hand it over.
Thanks. And
And looks a little weirded out that someone has asked for money and it wasn't from him.
I know you're broke.
He's not broke.
I need. Do you have 1,500 gold?
That'll be
Yes,
almost all
I
of his
do.
gold.
Or do you want to save it? I can just save. I
can cover this one just fine.
All right, if you.
There we go.
I will give 1,500 gold,
Thank you.
and then an extra 5 for the fee.
Daniel, if you need anything, I've got starts going through his pockets. 1 platinum, and I've got about 30 some gold, some traveler's checks. Any that useful?
Oh, gosh, thank you. I think this'll work for me though. Thank you.
Of course.
Mhm.
I'll have to make a mini of Ithram in the regalia.
And I will put the money in there and pull out a what is this specific component? A
As you-
jade circlet.
Yeah, you say the spell name shape change and pull out
Yes.
a circlet.
Uh-huh.
Drummond, you know what you should do? I just had a
Well-
thought.
What's that again?
Well, if with currency being, a means of exchange and that sort of thing, and you being such an expert in the culinary arts, find a bunch of people who are interested in eating at various locations across the world, and then make a network of, say, chefs or businesses that provide that sort of regional cuisine. And then get them all organized so that people who are members of this little club, I suppose, can go and dine at these various establishments. And if they have a little, I don't know, give them a card or make this sort of an international club of diners or something like that. And might be worth pursuing. I don't know, just an idle thought that occurred to me.
Oh, it's not a bad idea. I'll pass it along to the kids back home. But you know me, I'm retired at this point, just enjoying the travel. I just I didn't bring as much as I ought to have, I suppose. But it doesn't seem like the Steelhearts go about getting paid so often.
We haven't done any contractual work for
The
more than a year at this point, yes.
I think the last time any of us got paid, in fact, was when I got paid by Ithram when we first met.
It's been a while. It's been a while since there was a mercenary board that we could actually get work from. To be quite fair, considering it's been a year since Tiram, the place that we got most of our work from, was invaded by demons.
Well, if we're lucky, this Lich Yard will have some reserve funds, and we'll be able to liberate those.
Assuming they haven't been turned into metal.
You can always go do some mercenary work in core if you
that
want.
kind of metal.
I can get up to a challenge 18 creature.
Fuck yeah.
Y'all,
Oh,
hang on.
You can literally turn into an angel
Any
if you want.
creature. Can't be construct or undead, but it can be anything else. Oh boy.
This is gonna go.
Hi.
This is gonna
There
go
are
so
several
many ways.
varieties of angel you can turn into.
Ooh.
Anything that you've seen or
I don't want to
aware
be an
of.
angel. Okay.
All right, I've played with you in enough games and watched you in even more, especially Changeling, to be worried when you smile like that.
It's our girl. Hmm.
Let's see here.
So, you have all awakened from your long rests. You are now in a cottage that is half buried in snow on a plateau. The blizzard has stopped, and there is a demon lantern to the front door.
I should point out though, based on that previous exchange between Ithram and Ghent, ICOD does not sound as good of an acronym.
What Jack was referring to was Diners Club.
Yeah, I know, but he said an international club of diners, and so
That's because Diners Club International is the full name of the thing.
yeah, I know. But you put it in that order, and you just think IHOP, and
Right?
ICOD.
The interplanar house of pancakes.
Ithram, what was your
iPod.
you have an idea, but I have
Ipod.
Ipahad. iPod, actually, technically.
iPod,
No,
yeah.
it'd put her house of pancakes. So it'd be ip hop.
Hip hop.
Um,
Anyway.
I love hip hop music.
There we go. Full circle.
I don't know the specifics of it myself. I have not found a copy to transcribe.
Okay.
But there is a spell when you wish to hide something or someone from prying eyes indefinitely. Basically casting the spell sequester.
Okay. Do you know enough about it? Have you told us about your wish?
No.
Okay, never mind. Okay. Well, in the meantime, I can stone shape. So I could make a hole in stone 5 feet and place it there. Nothing. I mean, the only things that could potentially know where we went, and they were kind of busy, to be honest, were the warring armies outside, and none of them were there when we left.
Yes.
So.
It was that was one of my thoughts, either burying it fairly deep with this spell placed upon it, or if you were to encase it in stone of some sort and then launched it into the ocean.
I'd recommend I'd recommend somewhere that isn't going to be discovered by future explorers, because now that this place exists on the map again, people are going to find it again.
Cody, before you try to launch it into the ocean, I will point you to the last sentence of the sequester spell.
I have to check it again.
I'd be careful about oceans. I'll tell you, living in a fairly magically inclined, or at least adventurously inclined city by the sea, you'd be surprised how often somebody takes some sort of magical ring or cursed weapon or whatever and throws it into the depths of the ocean. And then the next day you're frying up a bit of fish for your supper, and there it is, turning up again. Damn thing's been eaten and washed up ashore.
So.
Camille said to remind you all about the last scene of the first version of Jumanji.
Yeah, I can set.
No, it's the
Well, no.
spell ends if it takes any damage.
The spell also ends if the target takes any damage.
If you hurl it into the sea and it takes damage from that kind of drop, especially being encased in a stone coffin.
It's a hell of a way to waste a 9th level spell.
Not like a hollow ball with it rattling around inside like some.
But it's not hollow. It is.
As far as we're aware, the only thing that you can throw 5.5 miles and not injure very much is a werewolf.
And that's only when Jack's running the game. If I was running the game, Sal would be dead.
I know.
Drummond, just you, like, you know, if like a monkey's paw just sort of showed up, I would definitely avoid that. By principle.
Well, right. Damn tough things to cook to a point where they're tender. I agree with you. Very leathery. Not a lot of meat on them, and the hair. Ugh.
Anyway, I would suggest probably burying it somewhere out in the middle of the snow wastes, rather than anywhere near this kingdom.
Yeah, I can do that. Okay.
If we want to start traveling and stop halfway in the middle of nowhere and then bury this thing and then continue on.
Yeah. Should we do Windwalk and then?
Aye.
Yeah, just someone keep an eye. We'll keep an eye on the sun, and then when we're halfway there, I'll stop and do it. Okay.
So you're going to turn the ghost lantern into mist?
I don't know if that's a good idea or not. Titania would have no idea.
Shall we walk for a bit until we're at least out of sight of this kingdom, and then bury it, and then windwalk?
I'm just asking if Titania is wanting to turn the lantern into mist.
It's an object.
Yeah, it is. It is an object.
Let's walk for a bit and bury it somewhere out of sight of this kingdom before we windwalk. Then
I'll pick it up, droning.
Valdez is like, I don't know why, but I sense somebody smiling at me from somewhere.
This is me. This is me saying it. You're not doing this to us again. God damn it!
I'll pick up the lantern. Let's start going.
Look,
Yeah, any
we've turned the lantern into mist
once your
before,
DM
and
says
what was
something, asks you a question. Once your DM asks you a question like that, the answer is no. The answer is always no. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I am absolutely not doing that.
Sometimes the answer should be yes, though.
I mean,
Mhm.
turned it into mist before.
Mhm.
There was a spirit trapped inside it before too, and it didn't.
Yeah, but
escape.
not a god spirit,
Okay, let's walk.
demigod, immortal titan thing.
Does anybody, Vespia, do you pack up the cottage?
Yes. Yeah, sure.
Vespia, what happens to things that you leave inside the cottage?
They stay in there till next time.
Could we just leave the lantern inside?
I don't trust anything that changes the exact configuration of that lantern right now.
I would
I
would
agree.
rather not carry it in the little cottage box with me.
All right, no problem.
I can carry it.
I don't want any surprises when I bring this back out again.
Of course.
Ugh. Everyone bundled up, and Titania's gonna head outdoors without her cloak because Scuzz has it.
I do like the idea of leaving the lantern in the cottage, and then next time we open it, the Titan is in there wearing a frilly apron. Hard-made biscuits.
I have a new butler.
Excellent. I don't.
Yeah, you can't. You can't dismiss the cottage until it's empty. So anything that you bring in there, you have to take out regardless.
I'm sorry, I had that wrong.
Okay.
So yeah, so say the command word, the cottage shrinks down, and this time it's much brighter now. So you all have a little bit better sight, and all of you, as the cottage shrinks, can see the spires of some sort of city to the south.
Huh.
Yeah, let's get out of sight of that before we bury this.
The plateau is still entirely silent.
We should come back and have a look at some point, though, once all this is over.
Definitely. But because this place now exists again, explorers are going to find it, and I don't want this buried anywhere someone could stumble across.
I do love the idea that, yes, we've buried this directly on the doorstep. They come overland, and the first thing they find...
Exactly.
Oh, look, a ghost lantern. It's been left behind. Let's see. Boom.
Start trudging.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to bring up, I'm not pushing for it, but if you're not comfortable carrying it, I'm happy to carry it.
I've got it. I
Okay.
put it in this lantern.
Yeah.
I'll
And
finish.
any of us would be willing to carry it, but Titania wants to carry it, so that's
I just wanted to put it out there.
Mhm. Yeah,
Appreciate
if you
it.
can hold my staff.
Of course.
Isn't the staff the thing that's giving you resistance to cold right now?
I'm still attuned to it though. I don't know like how that rules works, but if I can have like Grumman carry it as we're all walking together.
Right,
Yeah,
like an
sure.
umbrella. No, I've got it. He's sort of like following behind you, holding it over your head.
It does.
Oh,
it does
Mike.
have a very sharp blade on it. Maybe not over my head.
Why does Gint keep telling me I'm in shot?
I'm gonna try and
Grumman.
find a place that looks like it has stone underneath it, not dirt, and is fairly remote. Not like traveled even by like a lot of animal traffic, that type of thing.
So this entire plateau is stone,
Okay.
effectively, at
Okay,
the moment.
cool.
as
So
you
just
head
find
in.
a remote location that is not
Yep.
traveled by anything
Uh-huh.
and not near any like routes that someone would take to get to the kingdom.
Yep.
I understand your meaning, even though technically this entire place is a remote location that nobody travels.
Yeah, you know what I mean though.
Yeah. Go ahead and make me a survival check.
Okay.
I will
Tanya.
assist
Thank you.
because we're both looking for this.
Yeah.
Can I make sure we're not being
19.
followed by anything?
Sure, give me a perception check.
That would be
I
just
would-
great if we're not burying it somewhere where something's like, don't mind if I do.
Well, I
I'm
was gonna
absolutely
say,
going to do that as well.
yeah, I was gonna bring up the rear and use shape water to put the snow back to
Just
ba-
erase
basically make it-
our footprints.
pretty much.
I got a 19. I would like Annabelle to see through time and space as she did.
Alright, wait for Annabelle's perception check.
Sorry,
Alright,
my thing is glitching. Okay, let's try this. I gotta close my sheet and open it back up. It's doing a thing.
Oh, while we're waiting for
There we
that,
go.
with a 19 on survival, Titania, you do find a small little alleyway section. Effectively, you move over to the edge of the plateau and look down, and you actually see sort of this very sharp drop. Looks like the this section of the land is a couple hundred feet above sea level. So it's a pretty steep drop, just straight down into rocks below, and you now realize that this is where you heard the crashing of waves earlier. Was just that far
I rolled
down. The sea around this area seems to be particularly roiling and upset at having suddenly a landmass that wasn't really here earlier now in its presence. Sure that hasn't had any disastrous effects on the coastline. But you find a spot sort of along that edge where very few people would want to stand for very long. Where it seems like a good spot where you could like sink a hole. With a 25 perception from Ghent, 19 perception from Grumman, a 25 perception from Annabella, there is nothing living on this plateau except you all. Not a thing following you, not a thing observing you.
What about undead?
Not a thing ambient or mobile or anything. This entire plateau didn't exist until a very short period of time ago. And
Just had to
nothing is
ask because
here.
you specifically said living.
Yeah. Nothing is here.
All right, let's plant this time bomb.
Okay. And I'll cast stone shape. As I reach into the stone, my hands sink through, and she like pulls aside part of it and places the lantern down below, 5 feet.
Or while you do that, or while you're digging the hole, he'll take the lantern, and I will use my 9th level wish to recreate the sequester spell.
Do you want to do that?
If you use wish to replicate a spell, it doesn't have the other the backlash effects.
What I'm trying to say is, do you want to use it to do that before it's in the hole, or wait until it's in the hole and then cast Sequester on it?
It'd probably be.
Well, it doesn't matter if it goes in before or after. I'm holding it, and then I can just hand it to her. Even
I mean,
though
it becomes invisible, so
yeah. So you can still feel it, just won't be able to see it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. Do you set any additional conditions on it?
you don't have to, and if you do, the condition will be fulfilled.
I mean,
Yeah, but there's a dumb part of me that wants to go, yeah, when he learns his lesson.
When
No, I'm
he's
not.
nice.
I'm not. Yeah. When he's a nice person.
Learns to bake muffins. He can come out. and-
No, you can. There's some real
Immediately
shit
is
states
released.
that know how to bake
Yeah.
muffins.
Yeah.
I just didn't
One
know
of
if
my
y'all.
favorite hobbies.
I didn't know if y'all wanted to, come back at some point to kill him properly.
Or use him for something else.
No, I'm not going to send any other conditions.
Okay.
I don't ever want him coming back.
Fair. So yeah, you sequester the item, put it in the ground, cover it up. It is now embedded in the stone. I'm sure this will not have any negative consequences for the environment whatsoever.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sure that this place is not like geologically active. There's never going to be an earthquake here.
That is a later problem.
0% chance somebody's 8-year-old trips over it
hearts.
and
I mean,
spread some green.
it's embedded in the ground, so.
And it can't be searched for.
Right.
Let's handle one apocalypse at a time.
Quite
Why? You haven't done that so far. So, you have sealed away, you have sequestered away the lantern in which contains the immortal spirit of the dread Titan Mediri. And turn your sights to the north or to the south?
To the north.
Northeast.
Turn your sights to the north. See before you the rolling, snowy wasteland of Eastfeld. Knowing that somewhere out there is a tower that an old wizard is in, probably watching you. Roving tribes of the plains people that live in Eastfeld off the scarce resources. And yet further to the north, an ancient lich yard that Valdeth seems very intent on going to. And with these ideas in your head, these destinations in front of you, and a forsaken kingdom at your back, that is where we will end for the week. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.